My name's Zach Crawford. I'm an artist. I live and work in Dana Point, California. I like to surf, and I love being outside in nature with my dogs. My primary motivation and inspiration for the art that I do comes from nature. The ocean is a huge source of inspiration. It could be anything from a bird I see outside the studio or a leaf. It could be anything, but nature is the place that I find the most inspiration. And from there, I generally get inspired by color and work with color because it evokes feelings. It's a way that taps into our emotions and our experience. Primarily, I do very colorful paintings, and I also do very technical drawings. And recently I've been really playing with what it means to mix those two different styles of work together. And that actually became a part of how this collaboration with Wolfgang came to be too. So that's reflected in this collaboration. With the StarryWolf collaboration with Wolfgang and Paleblue, we really wanted to evoke the night sky and the color of the stars and the moon, and actually tried to incorporate a lot of colors that you see in the mountains in Utah and places like that. I wanted to create a really deep richness to the color of the design. So when Wolfgang and Paleblue approached me and we started talking through ideas for this collaboration, they mentioned the very famous Van Gogh painting Starry Night as sort of an inspiration point, which for me was just such a natural place of inspiration because early on in my artistic career, I was so heavily influenced by Van Gogh and just that expressiveness that he has with color. So to bring that into this collaboration was really fun. It starts at the idea phase of getting sketches, just pencil to paper, very, very loose, not thinking too much about it, just thinking about the main inspiration ideas, getting ideas on paper, wolves running, howling at the moon, swirling designs in the sky, really not thinking about it a lot, actually, just letting the ideas and the inspiration kind of come out and seeing what works and what doesn't, and then taking it from there. Once you kind of have a good idea of the composition and what's going to work, then we bring color to the process and lay some paint down and then start layering those things together. This is a bit unique in the sense that I would take the painting and then get good pictures or scans of that, and then I take it and draw digitally over the top of that. So it kind of ends up being a pretty unique process in terms of the work that I normally do. I painted several different layers of the composition. So the sky is one, the mountains are another layer, and then since the leashes and collars are double-sided, I did the same thing for each side. Once I was satisfied with the colors all working, I've been, photograph it, get good digital copies of the work, and then with drawing software on my iPad, just draw digitally over the top. So most of the line work and the wolves and those types of elements are drawn over the top of the paint, but drawn digitally. Well, the design has to seamlessly repeat as it's made for a long collar or leash. The design doesn't stop and start. I'm used to a canvas or a composition that has edges that end. So the mountains stop here because it's the end of the composition. So getting a design that works, that can repeat itself seamlessly and not have abrupt transitions was a fun challenge. And I figure we were able to accomplish that. Dogs are so funny because I get so much inspiration from nature, and to me, that inspiration usually comes from just trying to cultivate awareness while being outside. Usually that comes through focus and attention on something specifically. It's so different generally for a dog, at least for my dogs. When I take them on a hike, they're just hungry for exploring everything they can see and smell, and so they're moving around a ton and they're exploring everything. that in itself is inspiring, just in watching how a dog experiences nature and thinking about how that affects how I experience nature. Because sometimes I see things that maybe I wouldn't have, but my dog did. They definitely have something to teach about the way they experience the natural world that I enjoy watching and learning from. One of the things I love the most about being out in nature on a walk with my dogs is that there's a constant back and forth of who's leading. The dog wants to go one way, I want to go this way, and we're constantly trading off with each other of which way we're going to go, what are we going to check out, what are we going to explore. So there's a real give and take on both sides of that relationship. My favorite place to go with my dogs is the beach, and in the hills around where we live, we have lots of really fun trails that we can explore on our way to the beach. The StarryWolf concept really captures what it's like to be on a walk with your dogs at night or at dusk, which happens often. It really explores the idea of the nighttime walk. As the sun's going down or the sun has just gone down, it's really fun to think about with the headlamp concept, being able to be out in nature on trails and still be able to provide light and see where you're going better. And the StarryWolf kind of gives you that feeling of being out in nature under the night sky. You can't hike trails, particularly dense trails, or being out in nature in the dark. It gets a little sketchy being, especially with your dogs, and not being able to see where you're going and what's out in front of you or what's out in front of your dogs. So with the whole headlamp component, it feels like a whole new world is opened up. As someone that spends so much time outdoors, camping, being in situations where you are outdoors at night, you're getting campsites set up with dogs, you need light. And light has to be powered some way. So the product with Paleblue is huge because it's a sustainable, rechargeable battery that is good for the planet. And I feel better about not wasting lots of batteries, doing things that could potentially be polluting the outdoor environment that I love so much. The Paleblue rechargeable batteries are really unlike anything I've seen before. I was so excited to get to test them out and see how they work because they plug in USB, which is super cool and easy to recharge. It's great that they work with the headlamp. They can work with other products as well. So it's really user-friendly and easy to pop the batteries in and out, recharge them, use them for other products as well. But it's very seamless using it with the headlamp, and they work and charge really fast. It's great. The nice thing about the headlamp kit with Paleblue is that, nowadays the time change, it's getting darker earlier, and sometimes you need more light to be able to take your dog for a walk, whether it's in your neighborhood or you're hiking a trail. You just want to be able to have enough light so you don't get into situations where it may not be as safe without it. This opens up that possibility to be able to walk your dog safely pretty much any time of day or night. So this is my second collaboration with Wolfgang. One of the things I love about what they do, the quality of their products is great, and it's really comfortable. My dogs love it. They really go above and beyond to make the products work well for the dogs. But what's really cool to me is that Wolfgang wants to bring really carefully thought out and meaningful artwork to their designs. So when they approached me to do another design, I was thrilled to be able to collaborate with them again and come up with a new design that was really something new and unique. So it was pretty fun.